A common question that people coming from Smash or Rivals to play Tekken for the first time have is essentially, why do you guys have combos? Now, a lot of the FGC tends to be kind of dismissive about this sentiment and will just say that these Smash Bros whippersnappers know nothing about how real fighting games are supposed to work or whatever. But I want to engage with this idea seriously because I think it's a genuinely interesting question. Realistically, fighting games don't really need to have combos. Instead of the game requiring you to do forward 443, back 43, dash 312 after your uppercut, the uppercut itself could just do a bunch of damage. And in fact, that move exists. Paul has it. It's called Deathfist. But there's not a lot of moves like it, and at a closer look, Deathfist actually fills the same role that a combo does. And I think that the properties of Deathfist can help us understand why there are so few moves that simply do a ton of damage all on their own, despite in theory not really being so different from an inescapable combo. Let's take a closer look at the exception to learn more about the rule.
KO.
Most platform fighting games have a mechanic called Directional Influence, or DI. DI is what allows you to subtly influence the direction you are launched into when you get hit. Because of this, you can't just figure out a combo in training mode and expect to be able to take it online. A real player can move themselves out of your combo, and so you're gonna need to adjust to their evasion. In games with DI, combos that are truly inescapable, like the ones you'd find in traditional fighting games, are called true combos, which are actually quite rare in games with DI. The benefit of a DI system is that even after you get hit, you're still making meaningful decisions. Sure, your options are seriously restricted, but the decision to DI left instead of right is still a meaningful interaction with the game and with your opponent. This guarantees that both players are always doing something and that nobody is getting bored. So why don't traditional fighting games build systems like this? Are there any benefits to sticking with the old school combo system? But to get back on topic, why are there so few moves that do tons of damage on their own, and why is Deathfist allowed to be the exception? Well, one of the major commonalities between combos and Deathfist is that it's almost impossible for a button masher to discover it on accident. The input for Deathfist is quarter circle forward, right punch. If two button mashers were to play against each other, and one of them discovered how to do this massive damage move, they would easily win every match. So it's hidden behind a special motion to make it only accessible to players who are at least skilled enough to check out and try to understand their move list. Combos don't just exist to help out button mashers though. They serve a very important role in intermediate and high level play, and that is pacing. When you get hit by Deathfist, you get knocked down and roll backwards, and it takes a few seconds before you get back into the fight. That happens for a very good reason. There are no moves in Tekken that do tons of damage but simply leave you standing there. They all either require a full combo, knock you down, or play a really long animation. And there's actually a gradient of this. If you go down a character's move list, you'll notice that the higher the amount of damage a move can do, the longer it keeps you out of the fight for when you get hit by it. If you eat a jab, you recover almost immediately. You get hit by a chunkier move, and it will take longer to recover. Even between combos, the higher the damage, the longer it will take for you to get back in the fight. The purpose of this is to give the player who has just messed up a well-deserved break. Tekken constantly forces you to be making decisions, which builds up pressure in your mind over time, and eventually starts to wear you out mentally. By giving the player a break that corresponds to how big of a screw-up they've just made, the game is allowing us some time to recover so that we don't lose our entire health bar in only a few stressed out seconds. The person doing the combo, however, doesn't get such a break, or at least not as much of one. They have to keep focusing on getting their combo right, which means that they don't get to relieve all of that pressure. Because of this, combos also serve as a sort of soft comeback mechanic. If your opponent is getting a combo, at least you're getting a slight mental edge in the next interaction. So, in conclusion, combos exist to help button mashers by preventing them from throwing off the balance of their own matches, to help the game's pacing by giving players a short break after a screw-up to let them recharge a bit mentally, and, last but not least, because they're just really cool.